Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss where we get our bourbon news. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Stacey Spears, Wes Harden, and Nate Weiniger.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hello.
Hey, so we're going to be talking about bourbon news, and where do we go to find that? We'll get to that after the break. For right now, Wes said there's something he wanted to talk about. What is that, Wes?
Yeah, so it actually came to me this week as a question in my own head, so I wanted to ask the group. So this is just a blanket comment. So there's a lot of noise in the news cycle this week on big companies and advertising. Just leave it at that. So the question is, I was sitting there thinking, what companies do you think, if they decided, you know what, A, it costs too much money, and B, you can't make everyone happy, and there's too much social media for people to bash you. What big companies do you think could thrive and lose minimal to no market share if they cut out most of their advertising?
Okay, cut out advertising, and they would still thrive?
Yeah.
Okay, I would say here's one that I don't even understand why they advertise. The power company here advertises. What the fuck do they got to advertise for? It's just because they want to throw away money, and they do ads. I don't understand. You have no other thing unless you're going to go off the grid. If you want to use a power company, you've got one choice. That's it, and they're advertising. They could cut out all that and be just fine. Yeah. Well. So that's
I would say that it would actually be in most large beer companies' interest to just not advertise, because for the most part, like, you're going to just buy your Bud Light, you're going to just buy your Budweiser, your Miller, your High Life, all those things, if regardless of advertisements or not. But people will stop buying if you have the bad advertisements. So I would say that the people that drink Miller High Life are just going to always drink it. And you're not going to watch a Miller High Life commercial and be like, damn, I've been missing out. I should drink that Miller High Life.
I wonder if that's true. I know, because they advertise so much.
But they don't need to.
Well,
I mean, because really, like, drinking beer, like, no one, and I'm talking about beer. I'm not talking about seltzers. Let me clarify that. Seltzers do need advertising. Beer, very old beer brands, do not need any advertising, because you do not start drinking beer because you saw a cool advertisement about beer. You start drinking beer because your buddy Jim, he's a big Miller Lite fan, and he's a little bit older than you, and that's what he always brought around, and you're like, yeah, you know what, I really like Miller Lite too. And so you just also buy Miller Lite all the time because that's what Jim always drinks, and so that's just what you always drink. Or your dad always drank Bud Light. So you just always drink Bud Light.
Throw out any controversy that's going on right now. And do you think it would make a difference? So say Bud Light was just like, I'm out, we're not going to do this. And then Miller Lite was like, we're going to take advantage of this. We're going to double down and do even more. Do you think they would suck up the Bud Light?
No, not at all.
Consumers?
Nope.
You don't think that would matter?
No,
Maybe it doesn't matter then.
Again, I think when you get outside of the top 4 or 5, 3, so when you get outside of Miller Lite, Coors Light, Bud products, and then some of their subsidiaries, Mick Ultra, stuff like that. When you get outside of that, then that advertising does matter.
Yes.
All of the
but those massive ones do not need any advertising.
Right.
At all.
I mean, do you think that some of these big products are like regional? Like I think like to certain regions drink Pepsi over Coke, to certain regions.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Yeah,
certainly.
That's another one. No one's switching from Pepsi to Coke.
No, Coke was my number one. Like you see all the commercials and they're all over the place. I put it like this: I've never seen any soft drink commercial of any kind that's told me that I want to drink a Pepsi Zero over Coke Zero. Ever, never, ever. In fact, it actually makes me want to drink more Coke Zero than it does even to try to switch it. Like to me, Coke is the number one. You
could almost say that about any advertising, right? I mean, political ads. Are there people that are swayed by political ads?
I probably should have prefaced it with like consumer goods, because that's really where my head was at. Like, if you think of how much money Walmart
they don't need any
spends every year advertising.
They don't need any ads. Why would you even? You have to go to Walmart.
You know what? We're probably all going to get killed tomorrow because these big conglomerates, that make all the money from the advertising dollars, they don't want that to go away. They're like, shit, they're on to us. And they'll just kill us, and then they'll take the master copy of this. It'll never get released. This show will never come out.
It's a tax write-off for them anyways, with like the advertising. That's all it is. It's just tax write-offs.
Here's where I will say that when I see a Burger King commercial and I'm hungry and shit, sometimes I order that shit.
Oh, see?
I mean, so when it comes to food, maybe like
here's our in-house vegan who is
he's a home vegan.
Yeah, he's a home vegan. I love the Burger King ad comes on the TV, and then
Impossible Whopper. But no, but I do think I get swayed by like pizza. Like if I see a pizza commercial, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I need that.
Food is different.
Yeah, but Nate, so let me flip it on you real quick. Yeah. If you had to take out like local pizzerias that you go and have a good time, if you were sitting at home and you had to have pizza delivered, what's your go-to between the big chain places? Just curious.
Well, I stopped eating at the big chains. But I would say
if it was. Yeah, if you had to.
If I had to. It's probably Domino's. It's most
Domino's. Okay. So question. So if you're sitting there and you're just kind of watching TV and all of a sudden Little Caesars commercial comes on.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, pizza sounds amazing. Are you picking up the phone to call Little Caesars, or are you picking up the phone to call Domino's?
Little Caesars.
Oh, okay, well, you're. I think you're outside of
that. They got me.
I got you. So for me, I'm picking up the phone. I'm saying, you know what sounds good? Fucking Pizza Hut. Even though it's a yeah, you know what I mean. Like I go, what the commercial does is say, man, a pizza sounds good, but then I go to my favorite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They get me though with the extras, like now we're offering.
No, I got you.
We've got cheese bread, stuffed crust.
But again, so my idea was I'm thinking of 4 or 5 big companies. Everyone can't do it, right? But there's 4 or 5 huge companies that if they just decided this year, our budget is fucking zero for advertising. All you advertising people, you're done. Get out. We're not advertising because we have the power in the industry. I think we've named a hand. There's a couple more I have. I'm kind of curious to what Stacey thinks because she hasn't piped in.
Yeah, Stacey, what do you think?
Well, originally I was going to go with insurance, State Farm, Geico, stuff like that, because, I love the little Geico, the gecko, but I don't buy Geico, so I felt like they don't.
What about the general? Do you use the general?
Huh?
You use the general. He gives you the insurance.
It's only a certain.
You can get it by the week. Yeah,
you can only use him in certain states.
Yeah, but I wasn't really thinking of like retail products. But then when you said that, the only thing that popped in my mind was Tampax.
God.
If they stopped.
No, but that's a good one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm assuming this is only an assumption. I'm assuming with the product like that, once you find the product that is the one that you like and performs and whatever, you're not going to anything else. Is that a correct statement or not?
Oh my God.
Pretty much.
Outside of emergencies, right?
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah. You're not going to all of a sudden switch around to something else. Because they had like some girls like jumping around and being like, look at all these sports I can do. Yeah, guess what? I'm not doing fucking sports during that time of the month.
The other one I thought of was McDonald's.
Did you see they put out an ad where in it, and I think this is really interesting. So in this ad that McDonald's put out, they did not once show any product from McDonald's. They didn't talk about McDonald's. All it was people just raise their eyebrows. I can't move mine because I got Botox in my eyebrows, but they just raised their eyebrows, and people just went, "You want to go?" And that was it. And all that they did in this entire commercial was just people going, "You want to go?" and going, "Mm-hmm," and that was it. It was just a sound, and there was colors that were the yellow and the red from McDonald's. And that was it. You just saw the colors of McDonald's and people raising their eyebrows and making a sound and just everyone leaving the office going, yeah, let's go. Okay. They didn't want to say McDonald's, but you knew that entire commercial that they were talking about McDonald's. And that was it. And that's how easily we're swayed to go to a place we were going to go to anyways.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree with Wes. I think so. But then you hear about how ads do sway consumers. You know, this ad was successful when you're talking about like fast food stuff. This ad campaign, where's the beef? You know, Wendy's was nothing. All of a sudden they had the where's the beef and they became a big thing for a little while. Of course, that dies down. So I guess there is a segment of consumers that does get swayed by this stuff. I guess. I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me, but yeah, interesting. So good topic, Wes. I don't know that we solved anything, and other than I'm not going to advertise. So yeah,
there you go.
You need to advertise.
People tell me that all the time. I'm like, me throwing our store out to the masses and encouraging people to come in here that have no idea what we're doing, it would be a disgrace. They'd be like, what the fuck is this place? It's like 1,000 square feet. There's half of it's with a tasting bar and a education area. What is this? So we just, anything we try to do, we just try to target people who are bourbon drinkers.
Yeah, and you do a lot of word of mouth stuff. I mean, like you dropping off business cards in our distillery, and then us just making small talk with people, and they say something, and we go,
yeah, that's how we get it done.
St. Louis, and they're like, yeah, and we're like, oh, you're a bourbon. Here, take this card. Make sure you stop by here. You like single barrels, you'll love this place. And they go, yep, we'll stop there. And we've handed out probably, this doesn't sound like a lot, but probably like 20, 25 year business cards, just telling people to go there.
And they've come in there. So they were nearly. So it's good. And you get some of that because a lot of them that'll come in will tell you, Fred Mosenter from Buffalo Trace, he sends a lot of people our way. Buffalo Trace gets a lot of people through there. And I guess anytime they say they're from St. Louis, he tells them they need to go to our store, which is cool. Very, very cool. I got to do a better job of marketing to the team here. I've only got 25% of my co-hosts have been to the shop. 25. That's 1 out of 4. Yeah. I need to work on this. Yeah, Beka, you've been there. Well, if we want to say,
current people on. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, current people on. You represent 25% of my co-hosts, and the other ones haven't been. It's hurtful. It is hurtful. All right, it's time to drink. What is everyone?
You need to advertise more.
Yeah, I guess I do.
On my local news, I better go.
I guess I do. I just feel like if you guys opened up a store, anybody here, I would have been there by now. Even Nate, I would have drove out to Colorado. I've been like, I got to be there for Nate. I got to support him. I got to support this guy.
I'll make it in at some point.
Yeah. Well, okay. Hopefully we'll see. Guess what, gang? It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start this time with Wes Harden. Wes, what do you got?
Well, speaking of crows, I've got some of my decanted Old Crow Chessman in here.
Okay.
So eat that, Beka.
All right. No cork pop. All right.
No.
What year is it from?
69.
There you go. Miss Beka Sue.
Oh, from that heartbreak. I guess let's see. Let's go.
Yes.
Go low proof to high proof here. So I've got some Family Recipe Yellowstone.
Okay. Okay, good. That's good. That's the lead. Stacey's next.
Didn't do a lot of variety tonight, so I've got Eagle Rare again.
Eagle Rare. Okay. No, nothing going on there. Becca's got the lead. I'll go next. I've got Distillery 291 here. This is just their small batch product.
Oh.
Ooh, that's close. Stacey, who has the lead here? Becca or me?
Becca.
Becca. All right. We have to, when we throw it to a judge, we have to accept it. No matter how wrong that answer was, we have to go with that. That's the risk that I take, trying to get a positive affirmation. But that's where we're at. All right, Nate, your last but not least, Becca has the lead. What do you got?
All right, I've got some Michter's barrel strength rye whiskey. I believe it is the first of the barrel strength rye whiskeys that they launched out there in 2016.
Okay.
This is in honor of Dan McKees. I saw him recently, and he's just such a good dude, man.
He is.
Not much there, though.
No. Becca wins.
Hell
Cheers,
yeah.
Becca. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we're going to come back, we're going to talk about where do you get your bourbon news. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
Hi, this is Rick Brenner, and you are listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Shouldn't it be the legend?
Maybe.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're discussing where you get your bourbon news.
Your bourbon news. Where do you guys turn for your bourbon news? I mean, I can kick it off.
I just turned to the fact that my phone is listening to me all the time, and so stuff that I don't even fucking follow just pops up on my fucking Facebook feed, and it's usually things like Breaking Bourbon or I don't even know what else just like pops up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't even know that yet. And it's just stuff like just randomly pops up because I follow a bunch of bourbon things. You know, obviously, Steve, you send out updates on 5-minute quick
Oh, yeah.
notes.
On Fridays, yeah, quick
And
bourbon
so
notes.
I, check that out to see if there's some news that I've missed out. I, Jessica Ann always has updates of stuff on her Instagram all the time. Jessica Ann is very good at posting things that are happening in the bourbon industry. So that's a really random one for me, but I feel like I've seen things where I'm like, oh shit. And I go and like ask someone else, like, I haven't heard that yet. And I'm like, Jessica Ann had it up on her story. So
she's in the know and not afraid to throw it out there. I'll give her that.
She is always in the know about like everything that's going on bourbon wise. And so I always watch her stories just to make sure that I know what's going on.
Yeah. That'd be like Kathy Cool if she knew a bunch more than she did. She doesn't know a whole lot, but if she knew more, she'd just put it out there. It always happens. Anything she says. Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that just like know the stuff that's going on. So those are my Facebook listening to me. So they're just posting. It just gives me stuff. And you, Jessica Ann.
Yeah. Okay. I get most of my news from, so some of it is kind of cool because I own a lot of distillery lists. So you get some of the stuff earlier before anybody else, but that's just one thing. But the thing my go-to just for general bourbon news isn't an individual really. I just go to Google and I Google search bourbon, then I hit select news, and then I also search whiskey and then spell it both ways, EY and just Y. And then I just like to see what's going on. And I don't know. I find more stuff just like that. That's what I do to use for most of the shows and things like that. I always do some sort of Google search. That's how I just get most of my news. And it kind of aggregates everybody. So you're getting what everybody's kind of putting out there. So. And it's amazing how many times stuff is just missed. I'll see stuff that was out there and no, I don't see anybody else talking about it. It's like, okay.
That's the weirdest thing is when you anyone else is talking about it.
Right. Obviously someone did, but it hasn't been picked up by the masses. So yeah.
That's sometimes where if I do see something that gets posted by like just one of my random friends on Instagram on their story, that's when I try and like dive into a little bit deeper and like I'll send you a screenshot, Steve.
Yeah, Beka often sends me breaking news. Yeah, maybe that's my other source, Beka. Yeah,
Jessica Ann is my.
Yeah, you're getting it from Jessica Ann, then I get it from Beka direct.
And sometimes I just like there's some people that just send me stuff sometimes, which is like really random. But sometimes I'll just like get stuff. But generally, the second that I get something, I send it to you, Steve, to see if it's like a secondary like. Have you heard about this yet?
Sometimes I have, sometimes I haven't. I mean,
sometimes you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
And then, like you look it up and you're like, yeah, here it is. Okay. Yep. This is real.
Yeah. So, interesting. Yeah. How about you, Wes? Where do you get your bourbon news from?
I get most of the mainstream through Twitter. I mean, if there's something that comes out, there's no less than 20 different bourbon media entities that go to Twitter pretty quick and put it out there. So that's typically in the algorithm. I see between UK sports and bourbon. That's what my Twitter feed.
That's what you get. Okay.
That's what I get for the most part. So I see that. And then I think your email releases, your Friday bourbon notes for the craft world, that's really where I get most of anything that hasn't made it, in a mainstream kind of release. I get that.
That one is popular.
Yeah, I get that from the ABV network. So
I do Bourbon Zeppelin too, which is way harder to do and produce. Way more people read quick bourbon notes. They're just like the 5-minute thing, three stories. It's always 3 stories, no matter what. Sometimes if I feel like I got more than 3, I got to choose then. It is what it is. So yeah. Nate, how about you, man?
I take this pretty serious gathering information in this day and age. And I typically go to the brain trust of the world, TikTok.
Yes.
I feel like they have a pulse on whiskey, world news, weather, fashion, dance. And that's where I get the majority of all my information.
TikTok.
How I live my life.
Are you seriously on TikTok?
Fuck no. I got
okay.
on
I was going to say.
Thank you, Nate.
So here's what happened, man. I got on there for about 24 hours.
Okay.
Said, what the hell is this?
I do not do the TikTok. No.
I felt way dumber after that 24 hours. I don't think I repaired myself, my brain, my neural pathways. I think they're pretty much fried out. So I have not got back on there, and I don't. People say, "Oh, someone saying something on TikTok or this or that," and I just I got rid of that. So
Okay.
I will say that, you know what, first off, just like all of you, I'm on a lot of email lists, so I'll hear things through like press releases or something like that. I don't even know how I got on those, probably clicking on sites or reading something and somehow got subscribed to them, and just not smart enough to unsubscribe to some of those. But then, you know, ABV, Steve, honestly, I really appreciate, and I'm just saying this because you're here, but I do appreciate your little everyday, your Facebook topics. I've actually had that in my feed. And it's actually
cool.
I do read those. I don't comment, but I do read those, and I do like that. Breaking Bourbon, that's been something I followed for a while. Even back when 5280 started, they were always friendly to 5280. And I've listened to some Bourbon Pursuit podcasts when they're talking about things that definitely interest me. But other than that, it's that's it, man. Kind of learn from, you know, people posting. Jessica Ann, I've seen her news feeds before too. You're not the only one, Becca, but
breaks news.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Google thing, Steve. That seems pretty smart. You just type it in, and then there it is. So that's probably something I should do more of, and I don't think about that.
Yeah, I definitely 100% I use that. That's what I get most of my stuff from. Most of it. Stacey, how about you? What's your go-to so you know that you are in the know when it comes to the world of bourbon?
I mean, when I first realized, you know, got into bourbon, I think most of it was your hashtag, Steve, you know,
really?
ABV Network. Yeah. And then that's what led me to the Bourbon Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I've got a lot of the same answers as everybody else.
Right.
But no one's really mentioned LinkedIn yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
there is some good stuff going on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Too.
LinkedIn should be mentioned.
It depends on, you know, who you follow, but I can find a lot on LinkedIn sometimes too.
Right. The funny thing here is, and you know, we got all kinds of new listeners and things like that. But as we talk about, people are now say when you're mentioning the ABV network, there's Generation 1, which is the original listeners and people who read the Bourbon Zeppelin and all those type of things. And there's Generation 2, which was the folks that we met while we were doing all those online things kind of during COVID. And then Generation 3 is the people who I met through the store. Stacey is kind of almost ground zero. Tony Friend and Stacey, that's 1A and 1B in terms of original fans of what we did. So Stacey was early on, which is very cool.
Zero.
Yeah, Patience. Stacey Spears. So yeah, I've known Stacey a long time, and she's been a fan of what we do, which is very cool. Very cool. Very motivating too. When you're starting something, and then you find somebody who likes what you're doing. So
when someone sticks with you that long,
that's
a big deal.
It is. So very cool. Very cool. Yeah. On that note, we're going to wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Nate, we're going to start with you. Where can people find you?
That's on Instagram at 5280 Whiskey or hidden_barn or hiddenbarnwhiskey.com.
All right. Wes.
You can find me on Instagram at bourbon_Wes, and you can find me on Twitter at bourbonwes, one word.
Stacey.
I'm on Instagram at Stacey's Share.
All right. How's it not Stacey Share 8? I know you like the 8's your lucky number, and you usually try to incorporate 8 into your stuff. How does it not have 8 in there?
I don't know, but my other Instagram's Spears8, so there's an 8 in that one.
There's an 8 in that one, yes.
Yeah.
So she always wants number 8 whenever, if you've got anything that's numbered. Hold Stacey number 8 if she's buying a bottle from you, for sure. Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me down at Neely Family Distillery, or you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. That's the one to check out. Quick Bourbon Notes. We talked about that a lot today. That is out there. You can go out. You can sign up for that at abvnetwork.com. And, of course, there's a lot of other content out there, so check it out. And please, come by and see us at the ABV Barrel Shop. We taste whiskey at our tasting bar. You can try before you buy there, which is pretty cool. You don't have to commit to buying a bottle before you taste it, so great place to come and visit. So check us out, abvbarrelshop.com. You can sign up for email and text distribution on that website. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the Hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.